Arise, transcend thyself. Thou art man, and the whole nature of man is to become more than himself.
It is a great privilege for me to introduce Sri Shivakumar ji, who grew up in Kerala among Tamil, Telugu, and Malayalam speaking communities. As he grew up, he was fascinated with science and technology and how they make us lives better. So he started his career with a degree in mechanical engineering and as a computer aided design engineer and worked in the industrial world for 5 years. Very soon he saw that without the deeper spiritual values, science and technology loses its direction and purpose. So he decided to take a break from work and started engaging himself in full-time study and practice of Indian spirituality, especially the integral yoga of Sri Aurobindo and the Mother. Since 2001, he has been working in the fields of education and youth through Sri Aurobindo Society at Puducherry. He strives to find ways and means of applying spirituality into every aspect of his life. Now, I would request Sri Shivakumar ji to begin the session.
A very, very warm good afternoon to every one of you. Most of you I'm meeting once again after a gap of almost a year, because some of you I met virtually over online last year. And for this year, well, things have become very, very different. And I don't even have to ask you, would you agree with me? Because there was a time when we freely used to step out, play with our friends, come to the school, and all the teachers were mostly having a smiling face. But look at everything and everybody around you. All the teachers are under tension. Oh, I have to prepare lessons for my online. Now video has to be prepared. PowerPoint has to be prepared. And we can't even step out and meet whoever we want to, play with them, spend time with them. Life has become very topsy-turvy in the last 1.5 years. So sometimes things do go off track. And whenever things go off track, well, we might find ourselves a little lost. But if we don't find our way back, we will be permanently lost. And therefore, what we thought of looking at for this session is, how do we find our way back? Because whenever we do not know what we need to do, what do we do? Whom do we turn to? And what is the activity that we can take up, which will give us the direction again? Before that, I have to tell you, there are a few people whom I was in touch with before the COVID times, people of your age, most of the students' age. Somebody want to be a rocket scientist, somebody want to be scientist, medical scientist, somebody want to be an engineer. But few of them with whom I am still in touch, I asked them this question very recently. And the answers I got was not the same one which they were having, especially the one who said, I want to be the medical scientist. Well, I got in touch with him and asked him, so what are you doing in order to become a medical scientist? And then he said, no, I don't want to be a medical scientist anymore. I said, why? What happened? Well, he said, look at all the medical scientists all over the world. This coronavirus is going on. Nobody is able to find a solution. Well, we are, in spite of our advanced technology in the medical science, well, we don't have answers to everything in medical science. And the same with the people who are in power too, our politicians. There are a few students whom they said they want to stand for election, become MP and become chief minister and one day become prime minister, because when I have a power over the entire nation, I can make the nation much, much better. Well, we are actually seeing that even that is not as simple as it seems to be. And if life has turned almost topsy-turvy and our aim of life has also gone for a change, and perhaps this is the time that we have to re-question that, why do we even have an aim? I don't know what you people say. I have seen people coming up with an aim of life, working for it, and midway, well, they change aim of life or drop it altogether. But when we look around, there are a few people who have a very clear-cut aim. This is what I want to be. And I want to ask some of you, at least, that you look at the people in your family. Now, this is for all the students from, I think, 6th standard up to 10th standard. I'm hoping they are the ones who are there primarily. I want to look at your own family and then see what is the main aim of life. When I say aim of life, which is the time, the activity with which that family member spends most of the time in taking care of, let us say. So I'm going to ask this question. When you look at your father, I'm hoping that at least most of you still have a father who is there. What do you find him to be occupied with most of the time? Now, who will tell me? You can even type out. So when you look at your father, what is the one thing with which he is most of the time occupied with? Just type out your answers. Arya says work, and Shashwat says book and reading, job, in their work, job. Ridhima says work, and Aditya says work, political affairs, which is again work, and reading mobile. That is the one activity in which your father spends most of the time. Well, mobile must have become a very powerful device. One look at it, I can see most of you have said work, a career, because your father must be working somewhere and he must be building up his career, probably so that he can take care of his family. So career is very central aim of his life. He needs a good career. Why does he need it? So that he can take care of the family. But if you look at your mother, still she may be working, but probably she is spending a little more time for taking care of the other things too at home. Now, who would tell me that what is the central activity, occupation, the aim of your mother? What does she do most of the time? Atharva says housework, house chores, multitasking. I'm sure, Riddhi, because she has to cook, she has to take care of you, get you ready for the school. And one or two are a little different. Their mothers are in business too. But usually you will find that the ladies are multitasking people. There was once upon a time when they were not into the office work, but now that also has become part of their work. And so not only office work, but cooking, taking care of it, organizing things, ensuring that you people get up properly, eat properly, take bath properly, and then maintain things properly. For her, seems to be family, seems to be the main aim, the central focus. I go out and work, I come back. What is my central occupation? Well, my family is at the center of everything. And it is interesting. So for her, what occupies most of the time, the central part, is her family. So there are some people who are more focused on career. There are some people who are more focused on family. Now, this is a general thing in the family. Now, suppose if you look around and you see more number of people, can you tell me what are the things in which those people are mainly engaged in besides this one job or work or career and besides family? Have you come across people who are interested, their main focus in life is something other than getting a job and being there or just taking care of family? Who will tell me? Somebody says social work, and somebody says mobile and technology. I will also want you to think, who is this person? Probably your padosi or your mama or your kaka or your aunt. It could be anybody. And somebody, I'm glad to see, somebody even says self-realization is the aim of somebody. How many years? Have you seen anybody who is interested in politics? Let me see if anybody has answered politics, power. Well, if you look around, especially during the election time, you will find at least some of the people there. Somebody is saying, Shashwat is saying that me is into politics. Now, you can at least find some of the people whom you know during the election time, and they are so much engaged in, getting a seat and entering into a seat of power so that they can do something for the community or for the state or for the nation. So there are a few people who are after power. So some are after jobs, some are after, building up a good family, some are after power, political power. Anybody else? Vikram says reading books, mobile and technology. There are people who are so interested in technology that is everything. The moment the latest mobile phone comes, they have to have it. The moment and latest technology comes, for example, nowadays, you can watch videos in 3D. YouTube has a section completely 3D, so you can watch everything in 3 dimension. They have to have the 3D goggles. So some people are like that. Anything that is technology, well, that is what they responded to. So job and money, power, family. There are some people who are into business too. What do they want? Well, they want money and then more money with which they can do what they want to do. And Sarthak says, my Nana is very much into spiritual activities. See how what a variety of, the central occupation in their life. Why is there, have you come across anybody who says that, well, I don't have any particular aim in life? Now, this is a very interesting question. That I don't have a particular aim that I want to be an engineer or a doctor or a politician or I want to be a spiritual person. I just want to flow with the flow. Have you come across anybody who says that, no, I don't really have, why bother about these, having an aim and then working towards it and somebody will come and create problem, then your entire dream collapses, you become dejected, you become depressed. Why go through all this? I will flow with the flow. Now, Shashwat says, every grandparent is spiritual, general tendency, I'm glad. So Sarthak says, some people are just dependent on fate, which is, well, we are not here to discuss whether it is good or bad. So in our discussions, we won't call something as bad, good or bad. We will simply say, is it applicable to me? But if it helps me, I will accept it. If it doesn't help me, well, I will say sorry. That is it. So Riddhi says, yes, sir, to flow with the flow and fall with the fall. There was a story which I said, that is what Riddhi is remembering. So there is no goal, there is no specific aim. I have to reach there, then only mera जीवन का साक्षात्कार होगा. Nothing like that. Well, if suddenly the wind blows this direction, well, I will turn my adventurous quest towards this direction. After some time, well, the wind blows in another direction and I will change my track. There are some people who are like this, isn't it? So it is interesting. There are large number of people who have an aim. They know where they want to go, what they want to become. And there are other people who say that, nah, there's nothing specific. Well, I look at everything and then do what is best. Now, it is interesting because if you look around at nature, all the birds, all the animals, like for example, a quail that wakes up in the morning and then starts singing so beautifully. Suppose if you go to a quail and then ask, hello, Mr. Quail, what is the aim of your life? And let us say it can speak. What do you think a quail will say? Let me see any interesting answer comes up or not. Imagine, what will the quail say? It will say, well, I just want to sing. Interesting. Gana gana hai bhai, bas, we. So suppose you say that, oh, do you have a work? Do you have to go earn bread and butter for you and your family, which is also a part of it. So now, have you ensured that your bread is taken care of for the next 1 month? So have you joined any particular job? Are you earning some salary? Well, it doesn't say. When it is hungry, then only it will go for looking for food. It's interesting, isn't it? Now here are birds and animals which don't have an aim. They don't want to be something. Maximum they can say, if you go and ask a quail, what do you want to be? I want to be a quail. You go to a tiger and ask, oh tiger, what do you want to be? Well, the best it can say is, I want to be the best I can be. I want to be the best tiger that is there. That's it. The tiger doesn't say that, oh, mera padosi, that lion, no. Well, it has got lots of mane. So my aim, my goal of life is to become a lion. No. Interesting. They don't have any particular aim in life. And when they feel like singing, when they feel like eating, going for hunting, when they feel like resting, even if it is the daytime, they will go and then aram se, they will go to sleep. It's interesting. And when they are really hungry, well, they will go out. When they are not hungry, even if the eatable, its prey is just in front of it, it would not think that, oh, I have to kill 10 rabbits today and put it in my refrigerator so that the next 1 week, mera khana ho jayega. No planning, no aim, nothing fixed is there. It just flows. It doesn't have an aim. And are they very unhappy because of it? Can you say that the birds and the animals are unhappy because, well, they don't have an aim in life? They can't. They are, in fact, sometimes I would say they are much happy. They don't have the worries that we have. Paisa kamana hai, no, khana pakana hai, and this and that. Such an easy life. Now I am a little bit in a dilemma. When we look at ourselves, should we have an aim in life which will help us in our life, or shouldn't we have no aim in our life? Now, this is soch ke batana padega. So what I'm going to do is I have a small poll prepared. Now you think of both what I have said. There are a lot of people who have an aim in life and they work for it, and sometimes they get disappointed also if they can't achieve their aim. And then another scenario is there are a lot of living beings without aim in life. They are happily able to flow without any aim in life. For us, what should it be? Now, I'm not asking any non-specific general question. So now you will have to look at yourself and then ask the question, well, having an aim in life, is it going to help me? Or maybe it doesn't help, so I have to move without an aim. So today in one direction, tomorrow in another direction, maybe that is better. So I'm going to request the Suresh to put up the poll. And if you don't know what is a poll, a question is going to come. And then two options are going to be there, yes or no. And you will have to click on one option and we will be able to see the result. So what will be the question? So should we have an aim in life? So interesting. So 53 of you have answered. 52 out of 53 have said we should have an aim in life. Even after all that I have said about how people can flow with the flow, also probably only one person has said, chalega, even if I don't have an aim, I don't really think aim in life is really needed. Now, I think it's time to ask the mother, what does she think? Should we have an aim in life? Or probably we can skip that part. An aimless life is always a miserable or a joyless life, which is the exact translation. She said it in French. Now, this is the translation into English. An aimless life is always a joyless life. Now, I want to ask, why is it a joyless life? Why do you think? Now, 52 out of 53 have said that, okay, I want to have an aim in life. Now, I'm going to ask one of you at least to raise your hand and then tell me, why do you think having an aim is essential to your life?
Sir, we should have an aim in our life which would help us to concentrate in our life, and which would actually give us a brief description in life to what should we do next, or it will help to concentrate. Like having an aim at the social work will be a much better work, because there are really needy people out there, so they need us, and having a type of aim is much better and more efficient than having an aim like being a famous.
So I'm going to give you an option. Just look at what has happened in the last 1.5 years, Akshaj. So
Yes.
What we wanted to do, suddenly we couldn't do. There are conditions. And if we have an expectation, well, we also meet with the disappointment also. In the last 1.5 years, how much of what you really wanted to do, your planning and other things actually come to happen? One. Second one, well, when we come across people who are needy, well, we can give some of the money that we have. Why should it be an aim in life? Suppose if in my area, there is nobody who needs anything, I gave some money, everybody became happy and wealthy. Then if giving help to the needy is my aim, and if there are no needy people around, what will I do then? Will I become miserable? That's what mother says. No? Will I become miserable then? If I have a plan and if the plan didn't work out, it's very difficult. Like you want to be an engineer and build lots of bridges and maybe civil engineer about the building, you enter into, and then what to do? Your exam papers went to some really angry master and then he gave you less marks. You couldn't get a nice job. All that you get is a very, very entry level job, because of which, well, you couldn't do all your engineering dream has suddenly been put on a hold. Not because of you, but it could be because of somebody else too. It's extremely difficult to get a good engineering job now. Some people, probably you may have to give a lot of money, lot of recommendation. Probably sometimes they will expect mark. And in some other organization companies, well, they will not expect mark, but they expect your talent. And so many criterias are there, and there is no guarantee that if you have an aim that you will be able to fulfill. And most likely you will end up with some disappointment. So what would you do? I'm giving a chance once again for anybody to change the track. Yes, Arya. Arya Vardhan.
I go with to have a aim in our life, sir, because if we want something, so we need to pay for it, and for paying, we need the talent by which we can earn, and then we will be able to buy that thing. And sure, for that we need a aim. We can't do that. We are sitting in our house and we are just reading Ramayana, Mahabharata. I'm not saying that reading Mahabharata and Ramayana is not good, but we can't buy something by reading just Ramayana, Mahabharata. Reading Mahabharata and Ramayana is good, but other than that we need to do some efforts, and like कहते हैं कि कुछ भी चाहिए तो उसको कमाना पड़ता है. So we need to do that.
Break. So the aim doesn't mean you want to get something. Suppose you want to get, let us say, a nice mobile phone, for which you have to earn money, you have to set, etc. But once you have got the mobile phone, so aim of life is over. What will you do then? Zindagi khatam. Interesting. Or you will change, or you will have one more life, one more aim in life. See, when we say aim in life, it is not just getting something in a short term. It is a long term. It is something which decides the general direction of your entire life. And therefore, if you don't get it right, sometimes they say, don't put all your eggs in one single basket, because by chance, if it doesn't happen, well, you lose everything in life. So do you want to take that kind of a risk?
So, risk is not good, but we need to do some efforts. Now, if we
see, even if you don't have an aim in life, like something, one thing, well, you look around and there is something interests you, and then you go, you fulfill your interest. For example, you want to learn music, so you go to the music class. And then, well, you have some other interest also. You move there. You want to pick up a book and read. You want to do that. You want to play a game. You go and play. So the other one also takes effort. It's not that if you don't have an aim, everybody will come and give everything to you free. So some of the answers that we have got is interesting. So Ankit says we should have an aim, because when we don't have an aim, we may shift ourselves from our goal to what we want to be, because of which we cannot concentrate on our work. We can become unsuccessful in our life. Actually, the people who focus on the thing which is right in front of us can also get focused, can also be concentrated. Now, this is something that we have to understand. Only if there is a goal in my life will I be able to concentrate. Otherwise, I'm without concentration, not necessarily true. If I am doing sports, I'm focused in sports. If I am reading a book, I'm focused there. If I am doing something else, I can be focused there also. All I need is developing my powers of concentration. Then I can put it on almost everything and I can enjoy my life the way I want to. But let us see why mother says that we should have an aim in life. When we enter into life, the life is not going to give us what we expect it to give. Yes or no? If you want to be an engineer, well, all the teachers and the examiner is not going to actually ask you to come. I'm giving you an engineering degree. You please go and be the best engineer you can be. Lots and lots of difficulties. Unexpected things will happen. You might sometimes fall ill also. You might miss exams also. A lot of things could happen. We are not sure what could come in the way. Now, whenever we have choice which is offered in our life, you can do this or this. So here is a scenario. You can go to sports today, or you can sit and then read something, or you can focus on doing some project work, or how will you decide? In fact, whenever some hard choices are to be made in life, how do you decide? Now, it is very interesting what the mother says very beautifully. Remember, you have to ask yourself only one question. When really hard choices, difficult choices are presented to us, what is the question that we ask? if I choose this, will I be closer towards my aim, or will it take me away from my aim? घूमने के लिए, घुमाने के लिए. Interesting. So we will attend to little pressures. So little things all of us will do. But when there is a difficult choice to be made, how do we decide? We ask ourselves a question. For example, let us say you get a degree and then you have to decide in which branch, which direction you have to go. It's a difficult choice. What do you have to? If I choose this, will it help me to move closer to my aim of life? If yes, I can choose it. Suppose if I say that if I choose this, temporarily it will be make me happy. It's a little entertainment. But after that, I will actually be losing an opportunity to get closer to the aim of my life. And therefore, if the answer is no, well, I have to say, not now. You are good. This activity is good, but I don't want to do it now. I will do it later when I have some leisure to do it. But now I have to accept that which takes me one step closer to my aim, one step closer to my aim. And the journey itself is so fulfilling. It is not that only when we achieve our aim, we actually become happy. But if we consciously choose and consciously walk, every step that we take towards our aim is a very joyous journey that it's almost like, let us say you enter into a forest, which is uncharted. Okay. Now you want to go through the forest to the other side. Now, when you enter into the forest, you look all around and you are completely lost and you are not sure which direction should I take. What do you need when you are lost in a jungle? Let me see let us say you can have one thing that I can give you and then with which you have to come out of that forest. Akshay, what do you think you need to have? Hope, definitely. You can sit in one place and keep hoping.
Sir, hope. Hope for living.
Well, you can hope for living there also. But if you want to get out of the forest, you need to know in which direction you have to proceed, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Because choices are also very important in some specific conditions.
So what is that one thing which will tell you the direction? What is that thing called? Compass. Yes, exactly. And of course, map also. Interesting. So when you are completely lost in a forest, you don't know which direction to go. Well, you entered, in that direction is the exit point. All that you need is a compass or a map that gives you a direction. And that compass in our life is the aim in life. Is that clear now? Now, it is interesting. So whenever we are stuck, if we have to make a choice and when we are stuck, what is the compass that will actually point out to us the right direction in which we have to move? The aim. And how do we do it? We ask the question, by accepting this, will I get closer to this? If so, then it's the right compass. Compass is showing the right direction which we'll have to move. If not, well, we will have to reset ourselves. And that is why the mother says very beautifully, an aimless life is always a joyless life. Every one of you should have an aim. Why we should have an aim? So that we can find the direction in which we have to move. We know in which direction we have to put the effort. Now comes the next question. It's not only the aim that will make us happy, but even the journey also that should make us happy. So if our aim is something which is very small, which is very uninteresting, which is very dull, how do you think our journey will be? Will it be very interesting and joyous? No. Suppose if my aim is I just want to get into an entry-level job in a organization. That's all that my aim is. So what will be the path towards achieving that aim? Will it be very interesting, challenging, engaging? No. Is that you study a little bit, you waste most of your time, and then you loiter around, and then you appear for exam. All you need is a pass mark, and then you get into an entry level. See, if the aim of our life, depending on the quality of our aim, the life also will be of more or less quality. So if our aim is to be a most adventurous aim, how do you think our journey of life will be? most adventurous. Like you are a discoverer of, like you are a spiritual seeker. You want to figure out the entire universe. How will your journey be? Every step, well, you will be discovering things and it will be more. And this is something which Mother says very beautifully. She says that when somebody asked her, this is what she said, that very beautiful. I'm going to read what she said. She says, do not forget that on the quality of your aim will depend the quality of your life. So if the quality of your aim is very less uninteresting, dull, with a little minimum effort you can reach there, well, your quality of your life will also be of as not interesting, very dull, boring. Not there is no adventure, there is no interesting things happening. Now comes very beautiful. So what did Mother say? Every one of us should have an aim. Number one. Second, she says, on the quality of the aim will depend the quality of our life. And therefore, what should be the quality of our aim? It should be of that high. Let us not be content with something which is easily achievable. Like, tomorrow and day after I can go and get it. No, that is not what I want. Mine has to be there. So if it has to be there, how do we increase the quality of your life? Now, I want to ask each one of you to give some tips on how do we improve the quality of our life. So what the Mother has said, improve the quality of the aim. Well, your life quality also will increase. And therefore, we have to make our aim something because of which, well, our journey becomes very, very enjoyable. So now Kimshika has directly lifted the title of our interaction, Aim Higher. And then she said, well, if you aim high, every step you take has to be higher, the highest that you can take. Yes or no? Now, let's see. By achieving the aim with the short-term goals, burning spirit. Well, select an aim whose spirit is very burning, very needed, which is filled with enthusiasm, energy, interest. If that is so, then every step that you take will also be full of energy and enthusiasm and interest. Now, there are so many things. All that you are saying, think positive, offer it to the divine, time management, dream big. Everything has to be added to what? Should be added to the aim of our life. Is it clear? Yes. Palak, you want to ask something? Unmute and ask.
Some people, for them, these aims are like, for us, they are some normal things, but for them, they are luxury. These normal jobs are for them are luxury. So aren't for them, it is a higher aim for them. So can't we say that it is high aim for them and they will also enjoy?
Now, this is an excellent one. What do we call as high? Somebody who is already at a very, very low state, for him, let us say fifth step will be a very high state. Yes or no? But somebody who is already born at a fifth step, for him, well, 100th step will be the higher step, isn't it? Now, what we mean by high is we have to consider where we are. From here, it has to be high. Now, if I am already on the very first step of life, if I say that 100, it will be unrealistic and unreasonable. Yes, isn't it? But if I want to be on the 10th level of aim, then it is achievable. So the high actually depends on where we are. From there, if you are very poor and then not even able to eat 3 times a day, well, we have to gradually raise the bar. At least first, we will have to ensure that the life reaches a level of, khana, roti kapda makan. But we shouldn't stop with that. We have to aim beyond it. Probably we should have enough, not only to take care of myself, a little more number of people, my family, and then my community and my nation. So we have to aim as high as we can. And only what we can see, what we cannot see, which is beyond our sight, we can't aim as high. So, Riddhima Rana, did you want to say something? This is high. High is always from where we are, not somebody else's high. That is very, very important. We don't look at somebody else and say that his high has to be my high. Go ahead.
Sir, I was saying that in my opinion, I think that we should set our aims in a small bit. Like first we should dream big, but we should like separate them in a small way so we can take them step by step.
Yes, but the aim has to be high, but the steps towards it should be short and reachable. Otherwise, if the first step itself is too much, we will jump and we will fall flat. That's what Ridhima says. Very true. But the aim has to be high. Steps towards the aim has to be, we start from where we are and then we take one more step, one more step, one more step, and we reach there. Akshaj, what would you like to say?
According to the perspective of the person, if the
Yes.
person is at a very low, you can say in a very low state, and he has become at an average state, so it is not very bad for him. He is now living an average life. But if a guy is not a very also not a very lower state and wants to be at a very high, so he has to do the work like that. He has to be a
Absolutely.
person.
This is exactly what we have been saying, that from where I am saying, I have to set the bar high. Because if I am setting the bar very, very low, because that is possible, that is not yet the aim of my life. That cannot be the aim of life, because then my quality of my life will also be very, very low, poor. But let us all, from wherever we stand, let us set the aim high. Now, how do we go about it? Now, we wanted to improve the quality of the aim, and therefore all of us will have to start working on it. And I'm going to share with you what Mother has said. How do we go about setting the goal of our life? Shall we all do it? Pick up a paper and then pen that you have. And I'm going to give you 1 minute. Now, looking at what we have covered so far, that we should have an aim, and depending on the quality of the aim will be the quality of our life too. Looking at it, then write down, my aim of life is to complete the sentence. Remember, if you are setting it high, it's a personal high, not somebody else's high. All right? It has to be very personal to you. Not what my father says, not what my mother says, not what my teachers say. For me, where is the aim of my life? How high can you put it? Okay, we'll go with Sarthak. Read out what you have written. My aim of life is to.
So I just like elongated a sentence a little bit. My aim of life is to push my limits to the farthest extent. And we know that the highest and the farthest position of someone in our life is the eternal truth. So if we aim to recognize the eternal truth in ourselves, at least we will be able to reach the spiritual path in life.
All right. So Sarthak has said my eternal truth, and then I have set my goal to reach the eternal truth and experience it. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
All right. So let's have one more. Suhani, you are able to unmute yourself. Go ahead.
My goal is to, sir, I will look for the opportunities to speak in front of my class and to gain self-confidence, which some of us lack. And I would try to help my classmates and the poor people which are on road, because there are very few of them which cares of everyone except themselves. So we all care for ourselves, but very few people cares at what are the poor people doing.
Hold on. We are reaching there, Suhani. And Himshika has written, my aim is to make the better version of myself. So the better version can be version 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, 5.0. So which version, up to what version would you like to go, Himshika? Aim high. At least probably version 10.0 is where you have to say. Now, well, we will have to go step by step. And therefore, all of you who have written, keep it, because we have to work on it. This one statement that I want to be. So I want one more of you just to read what you have written, not to explain. So who has Shlok Verma? Just read what you have written. That's enough.
Yes, sir. Sir, I've written, my aim of life is to tackle temper, become a better advanced person, remove false thoughts about several things, bring spirituality at a higher level, meet and touch and get in touch with divine.
Excellent. Now, there are a few other aim of life which has come. So Ankit says, my aim of life is to be good and happy. And Palak says, it is to be my real self. And Divyan says, that aim is to become a good person. All in this, what we have seen, we are talking about and including only us. Yes or no? I want to be something. I want to be something. I want to realize the eternal truth. I want to be happy. I want to be the best version of myself, version 10.0. And see, all this is I. And only I think Suhani gave a hint that I don't want to think only of myself because that is what everybody does, isn't it, Suhani? Why don't you step out? There are so many people who don't have food to eat, no poor people. Can we not include their happiness in our happiness? So I have an aim. If I reach my aim, well, if I walk towards it and reach, I will be happy. It is, I seem this is a little selfish, only me, I want to be something. And Suhani said something nice. What Suhani said is, I'm going to put it in a word which mother used. She has made her aim not only high, but wide. What do you mean by wide? By wide, she has included a few more people too. It's not only I, me, myself. If I achieve, oh, sakshatkar ho gaya. Interesting. Now, so here is the next thing I want all of you to do. Right now, you have written your aim of life. Pick up the pen and then see whether you can, the same aim, whether you can widen it by making it available to other people. For example, I'm just going to tell you an example. Somebody has wrote, I want to be the happiest person I can be. How do you widen it? I want me and my family to be the happiest they can be. I have already widened. Now, how much can I widen? I can say not only me, my family, but everybody in my school. Also, I want to be happy, the happiest. Now you have widened it a little more. You remember? Now, this is what you have to. So rewrite your aim, but by making it wider, by including not only me, I, me, myself, but include more. Not only people, include even animals and birds also if you can. See if we can widen it. Yes, the world. Ridhima, what do you have to say? Can you widen your aim or is it difficult? If you have difficulty, just tell me. I can help you out.
Sir, actually my aim was to make a school for poor people, not only children, but every person who needs education, and it would be for free. And I would give them 500 rupees on my behalf. Some people don't give them, some people don't send them to schools because they want to money, and they some parents don't send them, poor parents. So I will give them money per month, 500.
Now the question is, how do we widen it? In school, what do we give? Education. Education is according to what? Some syllabus, isn't it? Suppose there could be some people who want not little minimum education, but they want training in sports. So why can't I probably work on having a sports academy too? Those who want to read, study, get degree, they can. Those who wants to do sports and academy, different type of school. Now already I have widened. Now, third one, not only reading according to syllabus, but there are people who are excellent in art and music and dance and drama, the so-called non-curricular things, your curricular things are physics, chemistry, biology, there is a non-curricular. Why don't we open a non-curricular school? Well, most of the time you are into art and music and drama. Now we have widened. Because why is only this one school and then whatever they give, well, not much of non-curricular things are there. Why only that? Let us expand, widen our idea of school and make it available to everybody on earth. Palak, you want to say something?
So actually, I need help. My aim of life is to be my real self. So how can I wide for others and
Sorry, say again. Your aim is to what? Excellent question. So how do I widen myself? Now, why do you want to be your real self? What will happen if you become your real self? Tell me.
I want to be my real self because I do not want to copy others and to be compared by others and jealous.
Which is fine. But what will happen to you when you become your real self? Will you be happy? Happiest?
Not happiest, but yes, happy to be
real. So, okay, one by one. So if you become your real person, you'll be the happiest. If you become your real person, all your own specific, unique capacities will become the maximum. Yes or no? Because that is who you really are. If you become your real person, all that you are meant to be comes and happens so that all your talents, capacities comes to the forefront, making you the happiest person. Yes or no?
Yes.
Now, how do you widen it? Now, you will have to follow a discipline in order to be your real person, isn't it? Now,
Yes.
can I help other people to be also their own true personalities? That will be widening. You see, you have achieved something for yourself. You discovered the method, let us say you found a special type of education, some of which we are already trying to put into practice in Jaipuriya school. So let us say you found one very special, unique education because of which you can be the real person with all your capacities and talents. And then you have become a complete person which you are meant to be. Now, how do you widen it? Why don't I make it available to other people? Help the other people also to become or to realize their real personality. That is widening, isn't it?
Yes.
So not only I became, which means what? I will have to help. I will have to see what is their special talent, their inborn capacity. I will have to encourage them. So I need a community or a school. Why can't you build one? Once you have achieved it, the next step is widening is, well, I want to widen it, make it possible for other people. That's all. Anybody else has difficulty in widening, then I will take it up. If it is just expressing it, well, we can move on because we have two more steps to cover, very important and unique steps. All right, Sarthak has difficulty in widening your aim. Let's hear, Sarthak, what is your aim of life?
Yes, so my aim of life was to push my limits to a far extent and try to be spiritual. So, sir, I have widened it by saying that I also will preach spirituality to other people. So, sir, is that fine?
Yes. Now, you said preaching or spreading spirituality. Which one? Because preaching is not a good idea, but spreading can be done in several ways.
Sir, like making others also aware to be on the divine path.
Helping others also to realize that there is a way of making our all the inner potential and then make it shine forth. Our real nature comes forth. Our real person, the spiritual person, comes out and then becomes the real Sarthak. And yes, that is definitely widening. All right. So what we have done is, first we started by being a little selfish. I want to be the highest I can be. So a little bit of I is necessary, because initially itself, if you want to widen your aim, that I want to help everybody in the world, you will not end up helping yourself. If you have not helped yourself to be the best you can be, can you help anybody else to become the best they can be? Like you want everybody to be happy, but you yourself have not find happiness. Can you make the entire world happy? I have heard some people coming out with comment, sometimes in my family also, some old person comes and say that I have sacrificed my happiness so that all of you can be happy. And then they say, you have to do this, this, this. I look at them. Well, how can an unhappy person make me happy? Isn't it? So what is the first thing? It is important to pay attention to ourselves, to have happiness for ourselves, which is the first step, but not the last step. If becoming happy is your final step, that is not a good aim in life, but it is an essential first step. I want to be the best. I want to develop all the things. I want to become the real person, and I have to make an effort. It will look selfish, but if you don't do it, you cannot widen. You see how important? Sometimes I've said, earlier when I was interacting with people, one person said, Sarve bhavantu sukhina. My aim is for the whole world to be happy. Now, how are you nowadays? He said, I'm so sad. And every day morning I get up, I'm very unhappy, I'm depressed. I said, if you are so sad and depressed, how can you make the whole world happy? Because whatever you do will carry the stamp of what you are. If you are sad and unhappy and miserable, everything that you do will carry the stamp and vibration of sadness and then miserableness. Can it make anybody else happy? Very difficult. That is why the first step, let us have something, the best that we can be. And then the next step is to widen. See how beautifully Mother has given the steps. First, our aim has to be high and then wide. But when you widen your aim, for example, let us take one of this. I want everybody to realize their true personality. Let us say you have achieved your true personality, you have achieved your happiness, well, you are in a good position. Now you want to widen yourself. When can you make it happen? By keeping everything that you have with you, or by sharing what you have with others? How do you think you will be able to help the other person and widen your aim? For example, you have realized a true person, so all your capacities have come. The capacity of being happy, being energetic, art and music, whatever is there, everything has come. Suppose you say that, well, I will be doing this only for myself. I don't want to share it or uh, tell everybody how they also can develop. What will happen? Even suppose if helping beggars is your aim, so you have earned a lot of money, and suppose if you sit with the money that I have so much money, but I can tell other people how to become rich, but I won't share my money. That doesn't sound good. So the first, once you begin to widen, one of the first step and first quality is you have to learn to be generous in sharing what you have achieved and accomplished with others. The third step, write down. So we have to be generous. First, we have to be high. Second, we have to be wide. And as we make our aim wider, we will have to share lot of things that we have: money, time, effort. Look at your mother. How much time she spends for other people. Aditya has a burning question. Yes, Aditya.
So there's this question I've been having for a while now. These days, in many cases, a job which can actually put food on the table, and a job which keeps you satisfied, which actually makes you happy, is not the same. There's this very big clash, because most jobs which actually make you happy, I'm not talking about all, but most of the jobs which actually have a good pay, the people who actually do them hate them. So I have a question: what's better for the soul, to actually do a job that we love but can't generate a significant income, or a job which makes us like extreme, which we loathe, but actually helps us put food on the table for us and our loved ones?
All right. So what we have heard now is two scenarios. He is asking which one is best, and they are a little contradictory. So here is something that if I focus on only getting the food and other things, inwardly I am unhappy. Well, is it what I should strive for, or should I only focus on making things on the inside better? Outside, I can leave it. Now, here is one, Aditya. Why can't we have both? Outwardly also, we are rich, we are organized, we are wealthy, and inside also, we are rich in capacity, organized, and inwardly also wealthy. That is the ideal condition. Somewhere, people have brought some opposition between spirituality and materialism. So materially, you can have everything, paisa, bangla, technology and everything, but inwardly the soul is not satisfied. What is the other condition? Soul is very happy, but you are having practically nothing. You are just like, what do you say, a kaupina dhari. You have only a cloth around you, and that's all. This is the picture usually is painted of spiritual people. What is an ideal spiritual? Do you think an ideal spiritual person should be having money like Tata and Birla? Immediately you will become suspicious. Oh my God, he's supposed to be spiritual. Now, how can he have wealth and money and 10 bungalows and 10 cars? A spiritual person is not supposed to have all these things, isn't it? A spiritual person has to be simple. Now, this is the wrong idea which has been given as a contrast. So inwardly, we have realized our, soul, but outwardly we are poor. I have only not even a bungalow, not even a hut. I have no place to live, etc. Still, I'm happy. Is that an ideal condition? Or outwardly, I have everything, but inwardly, my soul is not satisfied. Is that an ideal condition? I say both are not ideal condition. There is a third ideal condition where inwardly also I am happy. Outwardly also, I am the wealthy. I am a very, very wealthy person. And if this is what we mean as a dynamic spirituality, this is the condition that we should aim for. Now, you have got the answer, Aditya. So this is a trick of some people who want to capture you into materialism. They say spirituality means you are outwardly poor, miserable, you don't have anything, but inwardly you can be happy. Not necessarily. In fact, the real spirituality is the perfection of life from inside out. Inwardly, and outwardly also, we must be rich and wealthy and diverse and in charge and control of ourselves. All right. Yeah, spirituality and success can both stay with the person. So in life, failure; in spirituality, a successful person. No, that's not enough for us. Everywhere, inside and outside, we are. That is the type of aim that we should have, high and then wide. And as we widen ourselves, we have to be generous. Now, when I say we have to be generous, which means that you should be able to share what you have with everybody else. What is generosity called in Hindi? Udarta, isn't it? Udarta, generous. What has come to your mind the moment I say you have to be generous? The first thing that comes to your mind is, oh, we have to give money to everybody, isn't it? But here is what the mother says: the generosity or the udarta doesn't mean only giving money to other people. There is a lot more thing you can share with others. Now, who can tell me that what are the things that we have which we can share freely with others in the spirit of udarta? Who can give me? Giving happiness, yeah. Well, giving happiness, it's not like you have a 10 kilograms of happiness, you give one kilogram to everybody. What does it mean, giving happiness? Right, type out some Riddhi.
So instead of just money, we can provide them with some knowledge, like whatever. Like there are some people which are not only hungry for food, they are hungry for something more. They are hungry for kindness from us. Them with kindness, and not only money can help them, but everything, every vibe that they get from us, like good vibes, they can also help them.
Absolutely. So we can be generous in sharing our vibrations. We can be generous in sharing our knowledge. What does it mean when you say you have to share your knowledge with others? So there are a few people outside who have a lot of problems. They are looking for solutions. Probably in building a house, probably in managing their affairs. You have so much knowledge. Your buddhi, it's super buddhi. How do you share your knowledge? You go to them and then you share your knowledge. Hey, this is the solution. This is what you can do. This is the best for you. You can share your time, your knowledge, your happiness, lot of things. So udarta doesn't mean only giving paisa. In fact, the real generosity is when we can share something which is truly ours with others. Our time, effort, knowledge, our vibrations, who we are. When we share that with others, well, that is a real sharing. And Riddhi, you have something to say?
Sir, it doesn't matter. Like if we sit in front of that person and just listen to him, his pains and his happiness, that would be like, he would think that he has someone to listen to.
Absolutely. Do you know that this is one of the recommended things? We call it as deep listening. What does it happen? There are so many people who want to tell you something, not with the idea of finding solution. You just have to take out the time to listen to them. Poor Bechara in his home, when he says something, nobody listens to him. So he's getting frustrated. He doesn't want any solutions from you. Just suno na what I have to say. That itself will make so many people. But what type of listening should you do? It is called deep listening, which means that you have to make a gift of your complete presence to the other person so that you are completely attentive. And in that attention, when a person shares, automatically he feels a joy. Just imagine when you have to say something, somebody comes, they are ready to pay their completest attention to you. How nice will you feel? So this is a very recognized thing called deep listening, or listening with compassion, or making a gift of your presence completely to another person. Definitely. So this is generosity. Shall we see what Mother says? What does it mean when we say, generous? So I'm going to share with you something beautiful which Mother has said, and then we can move on to the next one. All right. What does Mother says as generosity, Udarta? She says, it gives for the joy of giving. Hey, this is fun. I don't know, somebody has ordered 2 pizzas. So I keep 1 pizza, but I don't want to eat both the pizzas. I give it to somebody who will love pizza just for the joy of giving. I have so many things. I give it to them for the joy of giving. Just in giving, not indiscriminately, but to the person who needs. So a little bit of research you have to do. You can't just like that go out and say that, here, lello. That will be dumping something on somebody. But if you know the need of the person and if you have that thing with you, You give it for the joy of giving. That is Udarta. And then when you give, you don't say, hey, मैं दिया है ना, tomorrow you will have to do me a favor. आज मैंने किया, तो कल you have to do me. No, there cannot be any bargaining. When we give, the act of giving itself should give me happiness. I don't need the favor to be returned to make me happy. So what is real Udarata? Generosity means gives and gives itself, no bargaining. Just for the joy of giving, it gives. And what happens when we do that? Well, you go, you figure out the need of somebody, and then you share or you do something for the person, for the joy of that person. What happens? Well, Mother says, generosity is to find one's own satisfaction in the satisfaction of others. Now, I'm going to give you some homework to all of you. When you go home, discover one thing which will make the other person happy, your mommy, your dad, your brother, or whatever it is. Don't tell them anything. Huh? You have to discover what makes them happy and then do it for the joy of doing it. Can you do it today? Which means that you'll have to know, maybe your mom wants to, she becomes happy when she hears you singing one particular song. So you just go to your mom, Mom, would you like to hear me singing a song? And then you sing that song, which is loved by your mom. And then you know that, oh, she is. Or maybe, no, nowadays your moms are mostly in the kitchen too. Just go up to her and ask, Mom, can I help you in cutting the vegetable? Or maybe I will just little bit. And you will find, if you do it without expectation, now, if you expect any favor in return, then it is not Udarata. It's called business transaction. I give something and I expect something back. So we don't want to do business. We want to express Udarata. So what are you supposed to do? Your homework today, when you go home, your dad or whatever it is, you have to find what makes them happy. Maybe your dad wants to have your newspaper and a few things laid out in a particular way. Without expecting anything, you just arrange and organize things in such a way that your dad becomes happy. Why? You find your satisfaction in the satisfaction of others. I'm going to tell you that if you have brother or sister, this is going to be the most challenging because we are not habituated to do what satisfies my brother or my sister. I'm talking in a general way. Huh? You find one thing which makes your brother or sister happy and do it without expecting anything and surprise him totally. And just to see what feeling it gives you and also notice what it does to him. Without asking, next day onwards, he will change his attitude towards you. And especially when we are with our brother and sister, we fight. I am born with 3 siblings. I have 2 brothers and 1 sister, and we are like, Kurukshetra war almost every day. And whenever we fight, we keep it in mind, and then we used to call them by some really bad name so that we can hurt them. It happens in almost everything, when you don't dislike something, how do you express your displeasure? You call them bad names. But here is what it says. If you have a generous heart, the generous heart always forgets the past offenses and is ready to re-establish harmony. So yesterday, mujhe tanga kiya, and the day before yesterday, you irritated me. Now I'm going to irritate you back. Now, yesterday you irritated me. Today, I'm going to make you happy. Just adapt this attitude just for the sake of. So out of all that I have said, what is the homework? When we get back tomorrow, you will have to probably, after trying it out, you write down in your notebook what you have experienced. And then probably tomorrow, if we have time, we will share it with us. So you have to practice. How do we practice generosity? First thing, we don't expect anything in return because this is not business. I do it because I feel happy in doing it. No bargain. And I do it because I know that it will make you happy. And even if previously you have not made me happy, that's not reason for me. Today I will make you happy. So your mom, dad, or somebody else is there. So Samriti really wants, she has a question. How can I be generous towards my family? Okay, Samriti, unmute and ask.
So once that we do that generosity or once we make the people happy? Are we supposed to tell them that I have made you? Are we supposed to tell them that we are making you happy? It is supposed to be their reaction. If they confront us about this, then are we supposed to tell them that that we were supposed to do this or not?
No, we don't have to tell them, because then they will start looking at us suspiciously. Oh, स्कूल में कुछ प्रोजेक्ट चल रहा है तो मुझे मेरे ऊपर वो ट्राई कर रहे हो. It's not that we are trying out something. We are just trying to find the joy of giving. So बिल्कुल मत बोलना इसके बारे में. Don't tell them that I'm trying out something, because then she will look at you suspiciously. Arey baap re, what is she going to do? And then rather than becoming happy, she will become more suspicious. She is doing something and then she is going to ask me something big. That is why. So don't tell anything, surprise them and generous. The first rule of generosity is that give for the joy of giving. And then what happens? I'm going to tell you a secret of the universe. Now you have to listen to me very, very carefully. What happens when we are generous? When we take the first step of sharing what we have with others, the universe actually opens its doors so that it can get you things 100 times more than what you have actually sent out. Now, that is something that's a very interesting thing. Now, suppose if we share our time and effort for the sake of somebody else, I tell you, you're doing it without expecting anything in return. Suddenly, the universe will open the doors and you will end up with having the help, time, and effort from lot of people which is coming towards you. If you actually make the first step of sharing the money that you have, even if you have 100 rupees, 50 rupees, you share it for those who really need it. And suddenly next day, you will find that from somewhere, 100 rupees is coming to you. How? This is something that is so beautiful, which Mother says that when you are in that generous state, you are entering into a universal current, and the giving movement opens the doors for getting things multifold. If you spend 100 rupees for somebody's well-being, you will think that, oh, 100 rupees kam pad gaya ab. But next day, suddenly you will find that your father comes and tells me, "Arey, 200 rupees le lo, tomorrow pocket money," without asking. How did it happen? The universe has opened the doors. But before that, if you keep on thinking, oh, if my dad gives me 200 rupees, I will spend 100 rupees for making somebody happy. So I get 200 and only 100 rupees I am spending. If you think like that, actually your father will come and tell you, I'm giving you 50 rupees for your pocket money, half of what you, 1/4 of what you have expected. Now, this is a great. Now, people who know how the universe works can only say this. Why? The moment you begin to share, the doors through which you begin to receive 100-fold. No, Mother uses this word, 100-fold. When you want to give happiness to others, you will send it to one person. Suddenly, you will find that 100 people are trying to give you happiness. That is the secret, the universal secret. And we want to find it's actually when you practice, when we are actually truly able to be generous without expecting anything, without expecting that, suppose if you do, oh, I do this so that universe will give me more, that is again expectation. You share for the joy of doing and then wait and see. All the closed doors will open. Whatever you have spent will come to you 100-fold. That is the beauty of generosity. And then you know why Mother said, so in your aim, like you want to create a school where everybody can realize their true personality, but single-handedly, you can't establish a school. Just look at your own Jaipuria school. How many people will have to give their time and effort, their heart and soul in order to make it happen? Not if it is only one person wanting to make it happen, it will not happen. But even if one person wants it to happen, shares whatever she or he has with others, suddenly 100 people will come and say that, I want to help you. Somebody will say that I will take care of your physical education. I will take care of your ground. I will take care of your basketball court. I will give you a cricket court. And suddenly somebody will come say that I am good with music. I can be a teacher in your school. And this is what has happened. If we take the first step, well, it comes back to us. Now, that is the beauty of generosity. So, when we are talking about our aim of life, how should our aim be? First, it has to be personal aim, as high as possible. And then we have to begin to widen our aim by including other people. Not that only I, me, myself, if I get it, I'll be happy, I will sit and enjoy my happiness. Not sufficient. We will have to widen it. How do we widen it? Through a process of generosity. Even if I have a little bit, it's okay. I want to share whatever I have. And then what will happen? The universe will start working by giving you everything that you need. And that is it. Now comes the fourth step in aim. When we do that, sometimes, we will end up by thinking, Array, at some point, Array, I have been doing so much. Why these people are not realizing what I want to do? Why are they trying to find fault with me? Because whatever you do, 5 people will find fault with you. 5 people will try to pull you down. So when you are into this aim of your life, at some point, well, people are going to oppose you. And at some point you will say that, oh, why am I doing this? What am I going to get from these people? So it is important to be disinterested. Now write down that word, because I have to explain that word, what it means, and what it disinterest doesn't mean without interest. So जो भी मैं करना चाहता हूँ, I'm not involved in it because उतना interesting काम नहीं है, but I'm doing it for the sake of doing it. ऐसा नहीं. That's not disinterested means. This is what disinterested means. Mother says disinterested means what is not for one's own small personal profit, what we have been talking, for one's own personal pleasure, but solely for helping others. That is what disinterested means. So we don't say after 10 years of doing everything for others, some parents do that, Array, I have done so much for you. When I get old, it's your duty to take care of me. Then it becomes business. I take care of you, and then later you take care of me. It becomes business. It is still good. We have to take care of it, but not as a business, but as part of being disinterested. Disinterested means the interest is not only with me and myself, not for my personal profit, not for my personal pleasure, but solely for helping others. And then Mother says that if you do everything only for yourself, this is what she says, there is nothing more disgusting than to be busy with all the little details of a narrow personal existence. It's not nice when you think of only of I, me, myself. How will I become richer and more comfortable? No, that is, Mother calls it is a disgusting way of existing. But if we widen, then that is something else. So disinterested is what we, but you see, when we talk about the aim of aim being high and wide, and then generous and disinterested, 4 qualities. Now you will have to relook at your aim, and tonight when you go, you rewrite your first sentence in such a way that it is not only high and wide, but it is also wide and it is also disinterested. Now, this is actually how your aim needs to be. But this aim can be in 100 things. This type of an aim can be, for example, in education, where you're thinking of a school, or in management, where you're thinking of a corporate, setting up a corporate house, which is high and wide and generous. Or you can be a musician, where your music is not only high and wide, it's generous and disinterested. You see, you can apply this in a million things outwardly. So how do you know which one is what you should select? So that in that aim, you can be high and wide, generous and disinterested. So how do you choose your aim in which you can be high and wide and generous and disinterested? Who will say, how can we choose our aim? But we don't have to say, in fact, in our next class, we are going to say that we don't have to break our head in deciding the aim of life. There is already something within us which knows the aim of life.
We don't have to think so much
to think an aim, because the aim is within ourselves. As everything we do in our life is we are putting an aim. We are putting an aim forward, so we don't need an aim, and think hard for something to do in future which we want.
Absolutely. So I don't have to think, should I become a Shah Rukh Khan? Should I become Anushka? Should I become a Tata Birla? Should I become? I don't have to, because all these people are very attractive people. So if you start considering what I should become by looking outside, you will be completely lost. Where should we look in order to discover aim? Well, we should become quiet and look within, and then we will find that something wants to come out, a tendency, and something which makes us really, truly happy. And that becomes the aim of our life. And once it begins to come out, initially it will come out as if it is my aim. It will be probably a little narrow and only affects me. But we will have to take it up and make it as high as possible, as wide as possible. And then gradually we want to share it with others generously in a very, very disinterested way.
Sir, what if we have actually in our childhood or in our youth, we are very energetic and feel like we can do anything. So we have not have a one specific aim. We have thousands of aims, but we like to become a polymath type. How to tackle it?
This is the another one. When I said aim of life, I didn't say that the aim will include only one thing, isn't it? Why can't I have 100 things which will enrich my life? For example, you remember a lot of people have said that I want to be the real person. I want to realize the real person in me. What is this real person? Well, this real person has 100 characteristics. Yes. That all the, for example, this real person has so many capabilities in his body. He is emotionally good with art and music and dance, and he is intellectually very bright. So it can be all. It can be even an integral person, yes, not a one-sided person. So aim of life doesn't mean that it is one thing only. It can be integral also. Purna. So Purana Manushya, also something that we can. I will stop here, and tomorrow we will see what is this part which already knows what I'm meant to become, and we will go a little deeper, and we will have to have a proper introduction. You know, if I say that I'm here to introduce a friend to you, well, first I will have to tell the little bit of background about the person, some special characteristic of this person, so that you can relate to that person. So what we will see tomorrow is I will introduce you to this person who is inside.
Thank you so much, Shivakumar ji. I think, to talk on the aim of life, we need speakers again and again and again and again, because the world speaks of aim of life in a totally different manner. What we hear at home, what we hear from our parents, what we hear from the world, it just gives us a totally different orientation. So to hear you was like really beautiful. But we need to do this again and again so that it gets imprinted into our psyche. Yes. In fact, even what the mother has said, we say it out in assemblies in the morning, that why do we come to school? We don't come to school for this. We gain knowledge for this. So maybe tomorrow's session, we can start with that quotation of the mother.
Surely, Pramaniti, keep that quotation, and that will be an excellent starting point for our tomorrow's
session. Why are we coming to school? Why are we gaining knowledge, information? For what reason? It is not to be able to earn more. It is not for this. This is very beautiful quotation of the mother. Very beautiful, Shivakumar ji. Really, so grateful to you. And I'm really looking forward to tomorrow's session. So you can make us meet this fellow inside. A very important fellow. Yes. And nobody talks about this fellow.
And this fellow is very fun-loving too, which we don't realize. He's a very integral fellow, the one who is inside.
And so brilliant. He's just shining all the time.
Yes.
And he's got his arms like this, come to me. And we are overlooking him. So we need more and more people like Shivakumar ji to introduce us to this fellow inside. Really beautiful.
Thank
so
you
Sarthak
so much.
Mishra is saying we need to befriend him. Yes, Sarthak, he's waiting to befriend us. He's just waiting that we go into his arms.
Thank you so much. Infinite gratitude, Shivakumar ji, for bringing us to this profound reality in such simple words and with very, very meaningful examples. Once again, thank you very much.